The Joe Rogan Experience.
He's so thick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's broad, man. I remember when Dustin was making 145.
Crazy.
You know, right?
He looks like he's having a hard time making 55 now. But look, man, the difference between him at 45 and 55 is pretty significant.
So, with Dustin, like, I'm kind of biased because he's one of my best friends, right?
Of course.
But you see how Max dominated a lot of guys at 45, and then you talk about Max is like now he's the greatest. Now he's the greatest at 145. He may be the GOAT. He may be greater than Jose Aldo. Like, that's an argument that people can make.
Well, he beat him twice,
right?
Although he beat him later in his career,
right?
Jose's not 50 years old. He was in his early 30s.
Yeah, and he was still the number one guy. He was still dominating everybody else.
Yep.
Right, or
Except
at least
Conor.
beating everybody else except Conor. But like the way Max beat those guys, beat Ortega, beat Jose twice, and then Dustin's having these tough fights. He's fighting these same guys. He's fighting Gaethje. He's fighting Eddie. He's winning them. He's convincingly winning them. But when he fights Max, like Max, the fight is Dustin's fight is the same fight that he had with Gaethje. It's the same as far as competitiveness, right? Max was still in there, but Dustin wins these. But like this is where my bias kicks in. I'm like, give that man some credit, man. Like I mean, I know everybody loves Dustin. I mean, not everybody, but people love Dustin. They appreciate the way he fights. They appreciate his style. But I'm like, man, he's taken out like champions. He's taking out champions. Gaethje was a champion. He was in World Series, but he was a champion.
Yeah.
He took out Eddie, champion.
Yep.
You know, Max, champion. He's like all these guys he's beaten. Anthony Pettis, champion. You know, it's just champion after champion.
He also
after champion.
rises to the occasion. He fought better against Max than any other fight he ever fought in his career.
That's the thing about him, though. Like he's like the cream, you know. He rises. That's why his nickname's the Diamond, you know.
What do you think happens when he fights Khabib? Yeah, that's the one.
That's the fight. Like,
that's the fight.
Like Khabib is the guy. Khabib is definitely the guy. And I was talking to him about it. I started a new podcast. I got
What's
a
it called?
podcast. Sup fam.
Sup fam.
Sup fam.
Sup fam with Yves Edwards.
Yeah, I
it.
know. And I just released it today. It's on my YouTube.
It just started today?
Yeah, well, I just released the first episode today.
Oh, all right.
And Dustin's my first guest.
Oh,
And
perfect.
So I was out there with him last week, and we were just hanging out, and we talked about some of that. But like, what do I think happens? This is a tough fight. It's the toughest fight everybody's going to get, right? I absolutely understand and agree that Khabib should be going in as the favorite, right? I want Dustin to win this fight. Every round starts on the feet. Dustin's got to make smart moves every single time, because when Khabib takes him down, it's virtually impossible to get back to your feet. Right? And that's where Khabib is going to want this fight to happen. Dustin's going to have his opportunities, but like, is he going to be able to stop that wrestling consistently enough to make this fight happen where it's best for him? And that's the hardest thing. He's got a good training camp. He's got really good people there with him. He's got Mike Brown there. You know who I want to get with him? Gregor Gillespie. I want Gregor Gillespie to get with Dustin and just get on top of him for the next 2 months.
Just feel that high-level wrestling.
Yeah.
Smashing pressure.
Just that pressure, and get comfortable working out of it, working under there, protecting yourself, doing that.
Would he be interested in... he might fight him down the road, though.
It's possible.
Yeah.
Right? But like Tyron and Robbie trained together a long time ago.
That's true. Yeah, that's how you get better. Right?
Yeah. Like it's one of those things where it's like... Sometimes you gotta trade with a potential rival, or not an enemy, but like iron sharpens iron.
Yep.
And sometimes you have to go with somebody that's a possible matchup in the future. It just
especially if you're going to fight a guy who has that same style. And I think you nailed it too, because Gregor Gillespie is probably, when you get past Khabib, the scariest wrestler in the division.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a guy that gets on top of people and just smashes them.
And he's relentless with his wrestling also. He's a guy who's not going to get tired. He's going to put that pressure on you. He's going to come forward. And once he gets a hold of you, if you don't use perfect technique to escape and get that distance back, he's just going to chain wrestle and chain wrestle. There's no stopping until you're down. Until he scores his 2, there's the takedown is still happening.
Yeah, he's got some fucking relentless strength and conditioning sessions too that he puts on his Instagram. You watch it and you go, oh, this is why this guy doesn't get tired. Fuck.
That guy doesn't get tired because he's obsessed.
Yeah.
Like he runs like 5-minute miles.
Does he really?
Like he'll run like 6 of them.
Jesus
straight.
Christ.
He will run 8 miles and he'll keep them all under 6 minutes.
So he'll run 6 miles and a half an hour.
Yeah.
Fuck.
He can do that.
Fuck,
like
man.
He's crazy.
Wow, that's crazy. That's
He's
like
crazy obsessed.
That's high level marathon pace, right?
Yeah. Like people don't know some of the things about these guys. Like there was a point where training with these guys, I was just like, all right, man, I'm too old to be doing that. I can't. I just can't keep up with that. You know what I mean?